Good day, friends. I hope you're doing well. It's Saturday morning, and I woke up and there's all sorts of new information on Orsolya Gaal's case. She's the 51-year-old mother from Queens, New York, that was found in the Duffel Bag about 9 blocks from her home. So what I want to do first is basically give like a trigger warning. This is a very unpleasant case and not for everybody. And I guess we should cover the business. So if you could be so kind as to hit that bell for notifications. If you're not subscribed, come on over and join us. And finally, if you could share. I truly do appreciate you. So we do know a little bit about Orsolya Gaal at this point, but things are coming out on a regular basis, and we are not knowing a whole lot about David Bonola. So let's get into it. So David Bonola, a 44-year-old man, was arrested Thursday in the death of 51-year-old Orsolya Gaal. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce her first name. There's been like multiple ways that I've heard, so hopefully I'll figure it out. So Orsolya was the mother of 2 that was found on the weekend in that duffel bag in Queens. So David Bonola now faces charges of second-degree murder, first-degree criminal tampering, fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon. And this came from the Chief of Detectives, James Essig. I'm getting some of this information. I'm using it under the fair use. And right now I'm getting some of this information from multiple sources. Okay, so he now has an attorney with Legal Aid Society, and according to online court records, CNN has reached out to the legal aid for a comment, but of course nothing has been returned. Now, David Bonola made a confession to police after he was arrested, and he made very incriminating statements. So this investigation is ongoing, and there is nobody else that they have right now as suspects. So based on a preliminary investigation, the authorities believe that Gaal and Bonola, who was a handyman employed by her family, had an intimate relationship. And the police said this during a news conference. Now, I do believe they're both married, but that's besides the point. So it sounds like this relationship has been going on and off for about 2 years, and it was considered to be over. And this is basically what the argument started over. So it sounds like Orsolya went to a show and then stopped for a drink and got home around 12:20, and David Bonola soon arrived. So they're thinking right around 12:30, 12:40. So after that, a very violent confrontation did happen in the basement of her home. It's been basically what's been reported is that she was stabbed 58 times, and then he cut her throat. And afterwards, David Bonola allegedly placed Orsolya Gaal's body in a hockey bag. And we do have video footage that shows him dragging the body down the sidewalk about 9 blocks, leaving a trail of blood all the way from the Forest Hill corner that she was dropped off at from her home. Like, can you imagine the trauma? Unreal. They're saying that there was a suspicious bloody bag on the corner of Metropolitan Avenue and Jackie Robinson Parkway. So, busy area. Very busy area. So, following the trail of blood back, it did lead to 7224 Juno Street. And I guess the walk was about, around a half a mile, I do believe they're reporting. So her autopsy cause of death was determined to be sharp force injuries to her neck and the manner homicide. So one thing we're learning is investigators recovered the jacket that they believed that Bonola was wearing that evening. And they also found a pair of boots and a t-shirt and bloody bandages at a separate location, which I do believe is his home. So all of this is basically, don't take it all as fact, take it with how you want to see this. Don't let anyone persuade you. You persuade yourself. You follow your gut feelings. And I just want to say that I am reading this stuff. I am not creating this stuff. So police also recovered the knife they believe that he used to kill Orsolya Gaal. According to the Deputy Chief Commander of the Queens North, Julie Morel. Did I say that right? According to Deputy Chief Commanding Officer of Queens North, Julie Morel. Okay, that makes a little more sense. And I do believe the knife was consistent with other knives found in her home. So yeah, he used one of her knives. So police were canvassing for video Wednesday night when they seen and recognized David Bonola. He voluntarily went to the police department where he allegedly made the statements. Once he was at the precinct, the suspect denied he was involved, before eventually admitting that he was the one who killed her. A law enforcement official said that the District Queen's Attorney Office arrived and also questioned him. Once again, he confessed to the killings. So he was known to do repair work around the family home, the Gaal's family home. He is basically the air conditioning service person that they've used for however many years. He did live alone, but was separated from his wife. So, yeah, I was kind of wondering. Excuse me, I think I'm catching a little bit of a cold here. That's okay. I was kind of wondering if he was going home to his wife. I was unclear about that, but okay, we know that, he was living on his own. So we do know that the married mother of two was found dead in a duffel bag April 16th, 2022. She was stabbed approximately 58 times, and David Bonola was arrested April 20th, 2022. NYPD Commissioner Keechant Sewell sent a tweet out that said that detectives have arrested 44-year-old man from Queens in the death of Orsolya Gaal. And it says, any information on the crimes, you're urged to call at NYPD tips at hashtag 800-577-TIPS. So Police Chief of Detectives James Essex said on April 21st press conference that last night, while detectives were canvassing for video, they observed a male who was wanted for questioning in the horrendous homicide. He voluntarily came back to the 112th precinct and gave incriminating statements. It's talking about his charges. And now David Bonola lives in Queens. I do believe he was not very far from her home, like maybe 3 miles or something, if even that. So her 13-year-old son was home at the time and was being removed from their house in handcuffs. He was briefly detained by police and questioned, but later released. There's a little bit more about, they were not nice to this young guy. They didn't even let him leave with his shoes on. They treated him like a criminal, and he's a 13-year-old boy. Imagine what that's going to do. Unreal. Excuse me. Howard Klein, her husband, and their 17-year-old son were in Oregon visiting a college, and they headed straight back. I think they were back later Saturday or first thing Sunday. It was fast. So it's saying that, yes, he was the handyman. Is there anything new here? I think that I had seen. We believe that the relationship that Mr. Bonola had with the victim was an intimate type of relationship. He said the killings resolved from a domestic type of dispute they were having over their relationship. Yeah, basically, I guess that would be the way to look at it, is almost like a domestic, right? Yeah, this is just like the worst. Who drags a dead person in a duffel bag 9 blocks? Who doesn't leave them at home? What they're saying is that possibly he didn't want her family to find her in that condition. So there was no sign of forced entry. They do believe she did let him in, but we're not sure if it was prearranged or not. It says here that she had sent him text messages about her whereabouts on Friday. Okay. Sorry, guys. I think I will be taking like a Sudafed or something. Okay, let's get back to this. So yes, there's proof that she went to the show at Lincoln Center in Manhattan, took the train back to her neighborhood, and then went to a restaurant about 11:20 near her home, and was back at her home at 12:20. And then they believe that he arrives about 12:30 to 12:40, as we were talking about earlier. So heated argument ensues, a knife is brandished, and a violent struggle ensues, resulting in our victim being stabbed ruthlessly, brutally, in excess of 58 times. Neck, torso, left arm had puncture wounds from trachea, the carotid artery. The knife wounds, also, she had defensive wounds on her fingers and hands. Again, the knife was recovered at the scene, so that's her home. She was found on that corner, like I said, about 9 blocks away. Her home is about a $2 million home that is in an upscale area. They call it Forest Hills is what it's called. So it was a man walking his dogs that found that duffel bag and a nasty blood trail back to her Juno Street home. Unreal. Basically, I mean, it's a high-end area, so there's cameras everywhere. He basically was tracked very easily, as she was tracked when she first went home. Unreal. Unreal. It says investigators discovered the jacket believed to be worn by him during the crime. His boots, t-shirt, band. We've read about that, heard about that. He did go for treatment on his hands. He went to the hospital. He's like a dumbass criminal too. And it says he was asked why he moved her body out of the house in a duffel bag. And Morales said, "We believe he just didn't want the body to be found by the family." Okay. Considerate psychopath. So let's see here. I know that there's something about notes, and I don't want to just throw it out there unless I know what the heck. I do know he was believed to have sent threatening messages to her husband, including one that says the whole family is next, saying that she had put him in jail in the past, and he's coming for them as well. And it sounds like those text messages had been sent from Orsolya Gaal's phone. Most bizarre. Victim's phone to her husband. Crazy. Yeah, he's not very much a smart criminal, is he? Yeah, it says that Gaal's husband said that the note said he and the family were also in danger, but police do not believe that they were truly at risk. It was just a sick man and a sick mind doing something sick. Okay, so I'm not really seeing Howard Klein as her husband. And it says it's not immediately clear how long she was in the U.S. So I do want to find, I do believe he was like illegally in the U.S. as well. I'm trying to see if I can come up with a credible resource. Yeah, the knife. Unreal, man. Okay. Yeah, suspect killer David Bonola was in the country illegally. Okay, let's see. This is a little longer than I expected, and it's probably a little rambling, but I figured this was probably the best way to get you information. So, David Bonola, a 44-year-old Mexican national, entered the U.S. from Mexico about 21 years ago, according to the NYPD. And sources reveal Friday that he was living in New York in violation of immigration law when he was arrested, or it says in here, busted Wednesday for Gaal's horrific slaying. Yes. So I don't know if that will have any kind of impact as far as the case goes. If anyone knows, I know nothing about the U.S. laws. I'm a Canadian, so I'd be really curious if this is going to throw a kink into the case, or what they do in a situation like this. And I'd like to also know, what is that white thing when they're bringing him out of, I think it's the jail? He's got this white kind of jumper on. Does anybody know what that thing is? Yeah, But you know what? I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I don't think I'm seeing anything new. So, yeah, leave comments and I'll see what your opinions are on this. Okay, and one thing I am seeing here is that the place she stopped for drinks, she had something that she usually had. It was called a Moscow Mule. I have no idea what that is. So let's see, other than that, I think that's where we're at. So yeah, that's where we're at for now. So if I see anything else, I will absolutely do another video. And I appreciate you. If you can, that subscribe, the bell, the likes, and share, that would be so awesome. I appreciate you guys so very much. You're making it so I can do this. I didn't realize the things that you would actually, as far as equipment that you would need. I'm enjoying it though, so I'm not going anywhere. I enjoy you guys. This is wonderful. So for now, I'm going to say cheers and we'll see you later. And yeah, bye friends.